That look of concern
No concern, just waiting.
with a look of something like, what are you doing? Or
Yeah, but not in like a what are you doing sort of way. Just a what are you doing?
time just goes by too fast.
Yeah, it does. We're old now, as the girls like to remind me.
Yeah. I do have a topic.
Do you?
I do. Oh, I started running. Have I talked about me starting to run?
You might have mentioned it, but I don't know if you've talked about it in depth.
My brother and I are doing a race, and I haven't ran in years and years and years. So I'm trying to train. So I've done, I think, total of 3 runs on a treadmill. Not a long one yet. I don't know how my knees are going to be. Speaking of getting old, my knees are hurting bad. So we'll see. The little one actually followed you down this morning.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So she's watching me. All I just see out of the corner of my eye is this puppy running like back and forth behind me, but not sure. Like she wants to get to me, but not sure how.
Yeah.
But then she just sat as far away from the workout room as possible, watching me. Oh, how's the other dog doing after your little mishap with her this morning?
She seems fine.
Does she?
Yeah, she came and hung out with me for a bit. She still loves me.
Okay. She didn't come out of the puppy's kennel all morning.
No, she came down just after you left. She came down and hung out for a little bit. I think she spent some time with Maya. I checked and there's no
blood anywhere.
No, she's fine.
So we did our morning walk this morning, and Andy closed the door before the last puppy was all the way in, caught her tail.
I thought she was in.
Yeah, and she just did the one little shriek.
Yeah, a little yelp, and that was it.
And that was it. And then Andy looked down and was like, is that blood? Is that paint? I'm like, oh, I don't know. It looks like blood. And he's
as we're watching, there's more showing up. We're like, what is happening?
And I looked down at my hands and my arms covered in blood. So when you said it's on the wall, I'm like, yeah, I know. Because it was already all at my arm. I realized because she was wagging her tail. And so it looked like a bloodbath. The walls and floors were covered. She was just bleeding so much. But by the time we cleaned that up and I put her outside because she was dripping. She had a huge, when she finally stopped her tail, huge puddle of blood right under it.
God, I feel so bad.
But it stopped really fast. I think it was just superficial.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It wasn't, but I mean, I still felt bad. Her whipping the tail around definitely made it worse. Definitely made it worse.
That reminds me of my colleague who woke up one morning. She thought it sounded like someone was moving around the house through the night, but she's like, whatever. But when she woke up in the morning, there was blood everywhere, like down the wall, going downstairs and on the banister and on like the baby gate. But it was her kid who sleepwalks and had had a nosebleed through the night and got blood everywhere.
Good times.
Puppies and kids. It's funny in like the movie world, they say never work with puppies and kids or animals and kids.
Yeah, and if you want a nice house, never bring either into it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't buy nice furniture until all are gone.
Yeah. You mean the kids move out?
And dogs are gone.
Yeah. But dogs being gone is different from the kids moving out.
Why?
Well, because the way you said it made it sound like all 5 were going to be gone. And I don't.
Well, moving out or dead.
Again, you're not differentiating between the children and the dogs.
Yes. So, shall we go in?
It's on tap today.
So I was thinking about this because it's been coming up a lot lately where kids are having a hard time with getting their own personal hygiene stuff under control.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, do we step in as parents if we think our kids are, stinking, not looking great, not washing their face, stuff like that? Or do we just let peer pressure pave the way?
I think it depends because peer pressure is not going to catch everything, right? Peer pressure is going to catch the outward facing stuff in terms of like if one of your kids is out there, stinking up the joint, let's say, that's typically a little kid thing. Right? Because they just don't care. They're running around, they're doing whatever. They don't notice it. They're playing, they hate baths, whatever. But when you hit a certain point in their kind of social levels that can become much bigger. I don't know if it's as big for boys for a while. The boys can kind of get away with being scruffy for as long as they want, really.
Well, I remember like actors reading article about actors like Brad Pitt.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf didn't like shower for over a year when they filmed Fury.
Well, if he's a method actor, maybe, but like they actually, I think it was Thelma and Louise, or I don't know, it was something, but they actually had to ask him to shower. I don't know if it was him. I think it was Brad Pitt, but anyway, it's just greasy, gross, and stinking, and
Yeah. Yeah, I'm firmly on the I'd rather be the guy that oversmelled too good than oversmelled not good,
yeah.
right? If you walk into a room and people go, "Oh, that's a nice cologne," you're on the right track. If people walk through and go, "Do you smell popcorn?" and someone else goes, and it's you, that's not a good place to be at all. At all, at all. So I don't know. As parents, I think it's all part of it, right? Like kids themselves, some are going to take to it, some aren't, right? But it's the same as trying to teach them how to brush their teeth, or, you get into a regular bath routine. It's the transition from you being the one that's driving it all the time to them being more in charge of it and how thorough they go.
Hmm.
But yeah, I definitely think there's certain aspects that parents have to step in
Like what?
regularly. Um, just the way, let's just bathrooms, right? If a kid has their own bathroom, that can be a gong show in terms of keeping clean.
Oh, cleaning their own bathroom.
Well, just the state of the bathroom indicates
Well,
their
I'm
own
just talking
state.
about their own
I know,
personal.
but I'm saying that they're all interrelated. If the
Mm.
kid has a messy bathroom, good chance there's some other practices that aren't really being followed through, right?
Mm.
But basic stuff, yeah, it should be taught at an early age and then policed until it's kind of second nature. Like turn off a light. You can teach them as much as you want, but they're not going to always remember. So you got to remind them.
But that's not influenced by peer stuff either. Yeah. I was just thinking, I mean, if your kid is socially motivated, I do think the peer influence. And I think parents are like, oh, I don't want them to be that kid, but sometimes they got to be that kid.
Yeah.
That's what's going to, like, I just think of our own kids, right? I remember, I won't call out names, but one daughter, just little things. It would be like really bad earwax. If I mentioned it, mom, ah, bah, bah, and nothing would change. But I remember once she hit, it was like grade 5 or something. Other kids commented on it
Hmm.
and she started cleaning her ears. And then going into junior high, not really like would wear old clothes that stank, like dirty clothes that stank. Um, Greasy hair, right? But someone commented and it was like overnight.
Yeah.
She was a different kid.
Yeah.
And now like fashion diva knows all about the best products to clean your face and clean your hair and like
Hmm.
completely turn around. And she's like, I can't even believe I was that kid. So it didn't matter how much we were doing anything or taking care of her teeth, right? It took other kids to comment, why are your teeth so yellow? That she's like, oh my gosh, like I
Yeah.
really need to take care of this. And then, I mean, since she's been going, one of our daughters has been going to see orthodontist and is seeing like how well her teeth are coming together. And she's actually like that also is a motivator.
Hmm.
Like now she loves her teeth and takes
Yeah.
great pride in her teeth, whereas before she hated them. So, but yeah, I think there's certain things.
Yeah. And I think it does come down to the prioritization of it, right? Like it's not that the kid is inherently gross. It's that it's just not a priority,
Yeah.
right? Like until they're confronted with that and they make a decision on whether to reprioritize or not. Like in those examples, yeah, it wasn't a big deal, right? And us saying it is just parents being parents, right? Like just bugging them and why don't you do more of this and whatever. But yeah, I think you're right. There's the social component, the friend component, right? You never want to be that kid that stands out for the wrong reasons. Just like anyone doesn't want to stand out for the wrong reasons, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that
Because peer pressure truly is like the number one best sort of motivator.
yeah,
If your kid is socially motivated, if they're not, then that's something different.
totally.
But we don't want to create a dependency. Like and it's tricky because actually I just had a kid in my office last week who's 15 years old and mom is still banging her head against the wall because she's telling him every morning, brush your teeth, pack your backpack, get your lunch,
Mhm.
wash your face, do these things. And he's like, I legit want to. It's not like I don't want to. but I forget.
Yeah.
Like I get going and then I get distracted. And if you've got a neurodivergent ADHD kid, if you keep reminding and he's like, I like the reminders, but then the parents are like, we're done with the
Hmm.
reminders, right? And the nagging. But he's like, that's the only thing I can do. But if we've been doing it for 14 years, he never had to learn how to do it himself. And
Right.
so we definitely need to make sure that, and there's lots of different strategies. I mean, that's a whole episode I could go into
Yeah.
with just doing that. But it's giving them the opportunity, even if it's like, okay, bud, these are the 5 things you have to do in the morning. You are going to be the boss of one of them. We'll do the rest status quo. But for now, for the rest of the week, you are the boss. What do you need? How are you going to do it? What do you need to be successful without, parents reminding you? So sometimes it's just, with him, he's got a shelf right next to the toilet.
Hmm.
And so one of his jobs is putting on deodorant. So we just paired like you go pee for your morning pee every single morning. That's
Yeah.
something you do every morning. So put your deodorant on the shelf that's reachable from the toilet. And
Yeah.
as you're peeing, put on your deodorant.
Yeah.
So we're kind of pairing it with something he's already doing. And so we'll see. I don't know. I'm going to see him tomorrow. So we'll see how
How
that
long
goes.
has it been
But
since you implemented?
a week ago. It was last
Okay.
week. Yep. So we can see. So, like, let's check in what worked, what didn't work. I mean, I do that with flossing. When
Yeah.
I sit down on the toilet, my floss, it's right there. So, as I'm sitting, I just grab my floss, I floss my teeth as I pee, and then I go on. So, it's just pairing. I had another actually university student who he's like, I just get overwhelmed. And then he beats himself up because it's like, it's easy stuff.
Hmm.
Like just putting away my laundry. It's super easy. It probably takes me 5 minutes, but I get so overwhelmed with it and it adds up. So we brainstormed ideas. Like, what if you just every time, like you just dump it in your closet, and then every time you go into your closet, you put away 5 pieces of clothing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that idea. We brainstorm a bunch, but that was the idea that he loved. So, okay, well, let's try that for a week, see how it goes, tweak it, see what's working, what's not working,
Yeah.
so
Just to come up with, and I mean, you hit I was going to mention those things too. Yeah. The pairing of stuff, right? Like the floss or the brushing teeth. It is interesting to try and figure that out. But I think the key thing that you kind of touched on is they've got to be the ones that are excited to do it or are bought into doing it because as parents, we can't force them to do anything really.
And it's their strategy. We can give them all the strategies, but they really do have to come up. We can help with the brainstorming,
Yeah.
but they have to be the ones to say, okay, I'm going to try this.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, do what is important. I can't force my kids to eat lunch at school, even if I made them a lunch and
Yeah.
force it in their backpack. I'm not. So I've given up on lunch. I have no idea if either of my girls eat lunch, and I don't. Chances are they're not. Even I remember when we did send them lunch, it was usually coming home
Yeah. Not eating.
rotted anyways, right? Because it's just not eating. Actually, one kid recently I found out was hiding his sandwiches in drawers, right? You've done that.
Mhm. Well, mine was different. I was a little kid.
Yeah. Well, this is a little guy too, but he's not eating at lunch, but doesn't want to get in trouble. So we'll hide it in his room. But now he's got all these moldy sandwiches in his room, right?
See, that's the difference. I was hiding it so I could have a treat later. When mom sent me to my room, I'd have my peanut butter and jam sandwich waiting for me. So it was getting eaten. It was just in my drawer.
Yeah. So, I think it's just to figure out what your red line is. Some parents, they're like, we've spent $10,000 on getting their teeth fixed. Teeth are a priority. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's your red line.
If you are the boss and you're okay reminding your kid every single day to brush their teeth, then so be it. Do it. But
Yeah.
if you're done, unless it's affecting you, and that's what it came to with my one daughter who was stinking. It's cool if you want to go to school stinky, but you don't need to come sit next to me while we're watching TV
Yeah.
if you're stinky,
Yeah.
right? Now that's affecting me.
Yeah. No,
So,
that's good.
anyway, I know we've talked about hygiene before, but I don't think we've talked about that added peer pressure piece.
Yeah, the social component for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.